Welcome, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to stand before such a vibrant and enthusiastic audience. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Life often feels like a series of interconnected moments, where even the smallest of actions or thoughts can set off waves that reach far beyond our imagination. Today we'll explore a powerful phenomenon, the ripple effect of positive thinking. Much like a single drop of water creates ripples across the surface of a pond. Our positive thoughts and actions have the potential to influence not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Together, we'll uncover how embracing positivity can unlock untapped potential, inspire growth, and create a cascade of uplifting energy in every aspect of life. How we can all become the catalyst for waves of change and transformation, starting with just one thought, one moment, and one step. I think of it, one small thought, one single moment of positive energy, and you have the potential to create something magnificent. A simple thought, like a pebble dropped into a pond, can set off ripples that reach far beyond what we ever imagined. This is the ripple effect of positive thinking. It begins as a single idea or choice, a decision to see the good, to embrace gratitude, to find possibility in every challenge. And from that one thought, a ripple forms. It moves through our actions, our words, our relationships, and even into the lives of people we may never meet. Now, this isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. Real positive thinking is rooted in the belief that life can get better, that we can grow and learn, and that with the right mindset, we can make an impact. Imagine this: if every morning, instead of thinking about what we don't have or don't like, we started with thoughts of gratitude. Imagine if we woke up each day and chose to focus on the good. What would that do to our perspective, to our day? That's the first ripple in the pond.
A shift in our own thinking, and as our mindset changes,
we influence our own behavior, our interactions, and the energy we carry. Each thought we choose builds momentum. That positive energy starts to grow, and it's felt by the people around us. They in turn feel a bit lighter, a bit more encouraged, and they may pass that energy on. It's a beautiful expanding chain reaction, a ripple that starts with one simple intentional thought. When we think of positive thinking, many people assume it's just about seeing the world through rose-colored glasses or ignoring the challenges we face, but real positive thinking is much deeper.
it's a conscious decision to look at life through a lens of possibility, to believe that solutions exist,
and that we have the power to change ourselves and by extension our lives. Now, I'm not saying it's always easy. Life is full of tests. It throws us curveballs and brings situations we couldn't have anticipated, but here's the secret: how we respond to those challenges, the attitude we choose, creates the reality we live in. And that attitude, positive or negative, doesn't just stop with us. It sets off ripples that can impact everyone around us. I think about it, if you've ever walked into a room where everyone was tense or upset, you could feel it, couldn't you? You don't have to be told when someone's having a bad day. The energy is palpable. And in the same way, when you walk into a space where people are kind, smiling, and encouraging, you feel uplifted almost without realizing it. This is the energy we bring to the table with our thoughts. A single negative thought, a grumble, a complaint, can set off ripples just as powerfully as a positive one can. But here's the key difference: positive energy multiplies in ways that are constructive, creating growth, inspiration, and connection. That's the kind of ripple that can make a lasting impact. I once knew a man, a very successful businessman, who had a practice every morning. He would wake up and pour himself a cup of coffee, and then before he thought about his meetings or his goals for the day, he'd spend 5 minutes listing things he was grateful for.
everyday rain or shine, some days he lists big things:
his family, his health, his business. Other days it was the small things: a peaceful morning, a conversation he'd had. Or even the way the sunrise looked over his backyard, what he was doing was setting the tone, priming his mind to look for the good in each moment. And you know what? People noticed, his family noticed, his co-workers noticed. And not because he went around announcing his gratitude practice, but because he carried that energy with him. His positivity, that sense of grounded gratitude, became a ripple. It touched everyone he interacted with, and it influenced the way they felt in his presence. Now think about how that could apply in your own life. What if instead of waiting for the perfect moment, or the perfect day, you started with a thought, a single intention to see the good around you? What would happen if you consciously chose to focus on the possibilities rather than the problems? You see, we often go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations instead of shaping them. We get up, go to work, interact with people, handle challenges. But most of the time, we're not truly intentional about the energy we bring into those moments. And yet, every interaction is an opportunity to set a new ripple into motion. When we approach life with an intentional, positive mindset, it not only shapes our own experience, but also changes the experience of everyone we encounter. Positive thinking isn't just a personal exercise. It's something that flows outward. Think about the power of a single compliment. For instance, maybe it seems like a small thing, but telling someone they did a good job or acknowledging their effort can have a profound effect. That compliment becomes a ripple. They could turn their whole day around. And when they feel seen and appreciated, they're more likely to extend kindness to someone else. So what started as a single positive thought on your part becomes a chain reaction. That's the ripple effect in action. I often say that we have to guard our thoughts, because what we allow in our minds will shape our attitude, our actions, and ultimately our life. If you think about it, most of the time we don't even notice the thoughts that pass through our minds. They just come and go, but if we aren't careful, we can start to allow negativity to settle, to take root. And once those negative thoughts take hold, they don't just stay there quietly. They spread into everything we do. They impact our relationships, and before we know it, they've created a ripple of their own. That's why it's crucial to guard our thinking, to be intentional about what we focus on. A powerful exercise is to catch yourself in those negative moments and consciously shift to a positive thought. It could be something small, a reminder of what you're grateful for, or a thought about a positive outcome. Think of it as pulling out a weed in your garden and planting a flower instead. When we cultivate positive thinking, we create a space in our minds where growth, creativity, and connection can flourish. And the more we do it, the easier it becomes. Positivity, like any other habit, strengthens with practice. And it's essential to understand that positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties. Quite the opposite. It's about choosing to see possibilities despite the difficulties. Life brings us challenges so that we can learn, so that we can grow stronger and wiser. But when we approach those challenges with a positive mindset, we're better equipped to handle them. We can look at a setback and ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this, instead of dwelling on why it happened? And that choice, choosing growth over resentment, is think of every difficulty you face as an opportunity to spread resilience and hope when you model this for others. It's inspiring. You never know who might be watching, who might be influenced by your example. And by choosing a positive response, you're setting a standard that others will notice. And often they'll begin to adopt that mindset to your resilience, your strength in the face of adversity. It becomes a ripple that can uplift those around you, and that's a powerful legacy to leave. Positive thinking isn't just about feeling good or seeing life through a bright filter. It's about creating momentum. It's about taking the spark of a good thought and allowing it to drive us into action, you see, a positive thought on its own is like a seed with incredible potential, but if we don't water it, nurture it, it won't grow, it won't create change. Positive thinking has to inspire positive action for the ripple effect to truly expand. Ask yourself, have you ever been around someone who was genuinely excited about life? Who seemed to be fully engaged and focused on creating good things not just for themselves, but for others as well? Their energy is contagious, isn't it? Being around them makes you feel energized too. Makes you believe a bit more in your own goals and potential. That's the ripple effect of positive action. When you turn a positive thought into action, you're not just creating change for yourself, you're setting an example for others, showing them what's possible. And it's incredible how that one act can inspire someone else to do the same. I think of someone who's starting up their first business. The early stages are filled with challenges, doubts, and often more questions than answers. But a person with a positive mindset looks at those obstacles and asks, how can I work through this? What can I learn? That drive keeps them moving forward.
And as they persist, their resilience inspires others.
That's how we influence each other. The power of positive action goes beyond just accomplishing personal goals. When we act with a positive mindset, we create an environment where others feel encouraged and supported to take action as well. Each small gesture might seem insignificant on its own, but it builds on the ripples around us. When you encourage someone, you're not just helping them feel better in the moment, you're planting a seed of confidence. When they feel encouraged, they're more likely to take a step forward to try something new or to pursue a goal they might have doubted before. And the beauty of encouragement is that it continues to grow, often in ways we may never see. The person you encourage may go on to achieve something significant or inspire someone else. That's the ripple effect. Your small action leads to something bigger, something meaningful. But there's more positive action. Just like positive thinking has a way of multiplying. I think of it like compounding interest. When you do something good today, that positive energy isn't lost, it builds. Tomorrow you'll find it's a little easier to keep that momentum going. The same goes for anyone touched by your actions. They may be inspired to act in kind, and before you know it, that one small act of encouragement or kindness has turned into a series of actions that ripple outward, impacting countless people. Mr. Shoaff told me, if you want to see change, be the example. And that's true for all of us. It's one thing to hope for a better environment, a better community, or a better workplace, but it's another thing to be the person who makes the first move, who sets the example through consistent positive action. This isn't always easy, of course. There are days when we don't feel like putting in the extra effort. Or maybe we're just tired, frustrated, or uncertain ourselves. But those are the very moments where positive action is most powerful. When we choose to act in spite of how we feel, we not only build our own resilience, but we also show others what's possible. And you got to be resilient. It's one of the cornerstones of positive action. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back after a setback. It's about deciding to face difficulties with an attitude that says, this challenge will make me stronger. And resilience, like positivity, has a ripple effect. When you demonstrate resilience, when you choose to keep going, others will be inspired by that example. I once knew a single mother who had every reason to give up. She was working long hours, supporting her family, and doing everything she could to make a better life for her children. And every day, despite the challenges, she kept a positive attitude. She told herself, today, I'm doing my best, and that's enough. That simple mantra helped her get through some of the toughest days. And what happened? Her children watched her. They saw her resilience, her positivity, and her dedication.
And as they grew up, they adopted that same mindset.
Today, those kids are adults pursuing their dreams with the same positivity and resilience that they learned from their mother. She set off a ripple effect that went beyond just her own life. It transformed her family and set a foundation for generations to come. This is the lasting power of positive action when we choose to live by our values, to act with integrity, and to keep a positive outlook. We don't just build better lives for ourselves. We create a legacy that others can follow, and while we may never see the full extent
Of the ripple effect we create, we can be certain it's there.
each of us has the potential to set off ripples of kindness, courage, and strength that can last far beyond our lifetime. One of the most meaningful ways we can create a ripple is through service. When we give our time, our energy, or our resources to others, we're making an investment that pays returns. We may never fully think of a mentor or coach, or a friend who invested time in you, who believed in you when maybe no one else did. They set off a ripple, didn't they? Their time, their care created a belief in you that may have led you to take steps you might not have otherwise taken. And now, because of them, you're here learning, growing, and perhaps inspiring others in your own way. So I encourage you to think about how you can serve others in your own life. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Small acts of service can be just as powerful. When you serve others, you're not only helping them, but you're also creating a ripple of positivity that will continue long after the initial act is done. This is how true positive thinking works. It's not just about holding good thoughts. It's about letting those thoughts inspire actions that make a real lasting impact. And it's about understanding that each of us, no matter our position or circumstance, has the power to set off ripples that can change lives. We can choose every day to bring positivity into our interactions, to lift others up, and to be a source of light in the world. That's the ripple effect. And it's a power we all possess. Positive thinking at its core is about choosing to adopt a perspective that empowers us instead of one that limits us. Perspective is like the lens through which we see life. When we adjust that lens to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles, growth rather than failure, and gratitude rather than scarcity, we fundamentally change the way we interact with the world, and in turn, the way the world interacts with us. This is the ripple effect of a growth-oriented perspective. When we choose to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, we don't just change our own life. We influence the people around us to adopt that same mindset, and it doesn't end there when they adopt it. They pass it on to others. Just imagine the potential ripple effect. If more people chose to view obstacles this way, every challenge would become a stepping stone. Every failure a chance to get better. The energy and courage generated by that kind of perspective could uplift an entire community, even an entire generation. And don't compare in a world where we're constantly exposed to the successes
And achievements of others, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison.
to look at what someone else has accomplished and feel inadequate. But a positive perspective helps us flip this on its head. Instead of comparing ourselves to others in a way that discourages us, what if we viewed other people's successes as evidence of what's possible? What if instead of thinking, why don't I have that, we asked ourselves, what can I learn from their success? And this shift transforms envy into inspiration, jealousy into motivation. That perspective isn't just liberating, it's contagious. Imagine if instead of competing, we began to celebrate each other's victories, to support one another's goals. And the impact would be monumental. Think of the ripple effect that could have. In a workplace, for example, colleagues would become allies instead of rivals. Teamwork would replace competition, and productivity would soar. It's a powerful thing to witness when one person decides to root for others. Instead of comparing or competing, they set a tone and others notice. That's the kind of ripple that fosters collaboration, connection, and mutual success. You got to reframe the situation. Life is filled with moments that are out of our control. Situations we wish were different things that don't go our way. But while we may not control what happens to us, we do have absolute control over how we interpret it. This is the essence of reframing, taking a situation that might seem negative and finding the positive within it. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding the good, the lesson, or the opportunity, no matter the circumstances. When we reframe situations, we're telling ourselves this might be difficult, but there's something here for me to gain. Reframing can apply to everyday situations too. Think about the frustrations we encounter: traffic, a long line, or an unexpected delay. These may seem like small irritations, but they add up, and over time they can impact our mood, our health, and even our relationships. But what if instead of letting these situations frustrate us, we saw them as opportunities for patience, as moments to practice calmness and gratitude? That small shift in perspective changes everything. It turns a potential stressor into a moment of peace. And when we approach life's minor frustrations this way, we not only improve our own experience, but also model that calm, positive mindset for others. It's a simple ripple, but it can have a profound effect on those around us. Reframing is a skill that takes practice, but like any skill, it becomes easier over time. The more we do it, the more natural it becomes to see things in a positive light, to look for growth rather than setbacks. And here's the real power of reframing. It doesn't just make us feel better in the moment. It changes the way we approach life as a whole. It shifts our mindset from one of scarcity and limitation to one of abundance and possibility. And when we operate from a place of abundance, we find that more opportunities, more joy,
and more connections come into our lives naturally.
Now, perspective isn't just about how we see things, it's about how we interpret the actions
And intentions of others. We all have moments where we feel hurt
or let down by someone's words or actions. It's easy to jump to conclusions, to assume the worst, and to let resentment take hold. But what if instead of assuming the worst, we gave people the benefit of the doubt? What if we assume positive intentions even when we don't fully understand someone's behavior? That small shift in perspective can prevent countless misunderstandings and conflicts.
It can foster trust, deepen relationships, and create a ripple of compassion
that strengthens the bonds between us. Think about the ripple effect of assuming positive intent when we choose to see the best in others. We're more likely to respond with kindness, patience, and understanding. And when people feel understood and supported, they're more likely to reciprocate by those qualities. It's a cycle of empathy that builds stronger, more meaningful connections. That's the kind of ripple that can transform families, communities, and workplaces. It all starts with a simple choice to see people not just as they are, but as they can be. One of the most powerful perspectives we can adopt is a growth mindset. A growth mindset tells us that our abilities, skills, and intelligence are not fixed. They can be developed over time. When we adopt this mindset, we're open to learning, to embracing challenges, and to persevering through setbacks. We no longer see failure as an end, but as part of the journey. And a growth mindset isn't just transformative for us. It's inspiring to everyone around us when we approach life with curiosity, and a willingness to learn, we show others that growth is possible, that improvement is achievable. Our commitment to growth becomes a ripple encouraging others to believe in their potential too. Imagine if more people adopted a growth mindset instead of fearing failure. They'd embrace challenges as opportunities to improve instead of doubting their abilities. So they take on new tasks with confidence and optimism. That shift could change families, workplaces, and entire communities. We all have the capacity to inspire others simply by being willing to grow ourselves. And the best part, every time we learn, grow, and improve, we add to that ripple, creating waves of possibility and hope. This is the power of perspective. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about choosing a mindset that empowers us to create a life filled with growth, connection, and compassion. It's about seeing each moment as an opportunity to make an impact, to lift someone up, to bring a bit more light into the world. And when we do that, when we commit to living with a perspective that serves us and others, we set off a ripple effect that has the potential to reach places we'll never see, to touch people we'll never meet. And of course, one of the major keys in creating a lasting ripple effect is consistency. One positive thought, one act of kindness, or one choice to be grateful is a beautiful start. But consistency is what turns that single ripple into a powerful wave. It's easy to feel inspired and motivated on a good day when everything seems to be going our way. But the real test of positive thinking, of that ripple effect, comes in how we choose to respond on the hard days. In those challenging moments when negativity tries to creep in, that's when the choice to think positively, to act kindly, and to keep moving forward can have the most significant impact. Consistency in our thoughts and actions builds resilience, and resilience is the foundation of lasting change. Think about it. When you choose to see the best in a situation every day, even when it's difficult, you're strengthening your ability to stay positive over the long term. It's like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. And as you become more resilient, that energy radiates outward, inspiring those around you to be resilient too. You're setting an example that others can follow, showing them that positivity isn't just for the easy days. It's a mindset, a habit, and a way of life that can be sustained no matter the circumstances. I had a friend every day without fail. He would go out of his way to greet everyone he saw with a smile and a kind word. Rain or shine, no matter what he was going through, he chose to show up with that same positive energy. People knew him for it, and they respected him because they knew it wasn't just a good mood. It was a choice he made every single day, and here's the incredible thing. This consistency changed the people around him. Folks who were having a rough day or going through a tough time would seek him out because they knew he'd bring a bit of light into their day. He didn't have to make grand gestures or give long speeches. His consistent positivity spoke for itself. And over the years, he created a ripple that transformed his workplace, his community, and even his family. Consistency also brings a sense of stability to our lives and the lives of those around us. When people know they can rely on you to be positive, to show up with kindness and encouragement, they feel a sense of security. You become a steady presence, someone they can look to when they need a bit of support. And here's the wonderful part. The more consistently you bring that positive energy, the more people around you will begin to mirror it. They'll start to pick up on the habit, to carry it forward in their own lives, and that ripple effect will continue to grow. Even without your direct involvement, one of the keys to maintaining consistency And positive thinking is to have a daily practice that grounds you. This can be as simple as starting each day with gratitude, taking a few minutes to reflect on your goals, or reminding yourself of your intentions. These small rituals act like anchors, keeping you steady even when life tries to throw you off course. It's like tending a garden. You don't just water it once and expect it to flourish. You care for it daily, and over time, that consistent care leads to growth.
In the same way, a daily practice of positive thinking builds a strong foundation that will carry you through the ups and downs.
Another powerful way to maintain consistency is to surround yourself with positivity. This doesn't mean ignoring real issues or living in a bubble, but rather choosing to spend time with people who uplift you,
Who encourage you to be your best and who inspire you to keep going.
Positivity is contagious when you're around others who see the good, who focus on solutions, and who believe in growth. It reinforces your own commitment to positive thinking. And as you draw strength from their energy, you're better able to pass that energy on to others,
Creating an even greater ripple effect, and it's important to recognize
that consistency doesn't mean perfection. We all have days when we struggle, when we fall short of our own expectations.
But here's the key. It's not about never having a negative thought or a difficult day. It's about how quickly we bounce back.
When we slip, we can remind ourselves of our intentions, of our commitment to positivity, and get back on track.
This resilience, this ability to keep going even after setbacks, is what gives the ripple effect its real strength.
Others will see not just your positivity, but your perseverance, and that resilience becomes a source of inspiration. In itself, think of it like this: every day we're adding another drop to the pond.
Each positive thought, each kind act, each moment of gratitude adds to the momentum of the ripple.
And the more consistent we are, the larger and more powerful that ripple becomes. We may not always see the immediate effects, but rest assured they're there, building over time. And one day that ripple might reach someone in a way we never anticipated. It might give them hope on a difficult day or encourage them to pursue a dream they'd almost given up on. That's the power of consistent positive thinking. It creates an energy that's strong enough to reach beyond our own lives and into the lives of others.
These ripple effects and transform your whole community.
Imagine a workplace where everyone made an effort to bring their best selves to the table.
Each day where positivity was the norm and kindness was the expectation.
That energy would shape the entire culture, wouldn't it? People would feel supported, motivated, and encouraged to bring their own.
Unique strengths forward, it would become a place where creativity thrives,
where innovation is possible, and where people feel connected to a larger purpose. That's what the ripple effect of positivity can do. It can take an ordinary environment and turn it into something extraordinary. It builds a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and compassion. It creates a sense of unity, a shared belief that together we can overcome challenges and create a better future.
Consistency and positive thinking is also essential for our own personal growth.
When we make positivity a habit, it gradually becomes our default state of mind. Over time, we find that it's easier to stay calm in stressful situations, to find solutions instead of dwelling on problems, and to bounce back quickly from setbacks. The steady, positive mindset equips us to take on bigger goals, to dream a little bigger, and to take actions we might have been hesitant to take before. And as we grow, the ripple effect of our growth extends to those around us. They see our progress, our confidence, and our commitment, and they're inspired to pursue their own growth as well. I want to leave you with a thought: consistency doesn't mean we'll see immediate results. In fact, the most profound ripple effects often take time to reveal themselves. It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see an immediate impact. But true positive change isn't about instant gratification, it's about building something lasting. It's about creating a legacy of positivity that endures, that continues to grow and expand even after we're gone. So, if you don't see the ripple right away, keep going, trust in the process. And remember that every small act of kindness, every moment of gratitude, every effort to think positively adds to the momentum, and over time that momentum becomes unstoppable. This is how we leave a legacy when we choose to live consistently with positivity, resilience, and kindness we create. Ripples that have the power to reach beyond our own lifetime, our actions, our mindset. Our dedication to positive thinking can shape lives, inspire dreams, and build a better world. And it all starts with one thought, one choice, one small ripple. So here we are, one thought, one choice. One ripple at a time. This is how we create true change, positive thinking at its core.
It's more than just a feel-good concept. It's a powerful tool for transformation.
A way to create an impact that goes beyond our lives. Imagine the power of a world where each of us committed to spreading even a little more positivity each day. Where every single person decided to look for the best in themselves and others and in every situation they faced. That would be a world built on kindness, strength, and resilience, a world in which our ripples join together to create waves of lasting change. Now it's natural to wonder if these small actions, these single ripples, really make a difference. After all, life can be challenging, and there are days when it feels like our efforts go unnoticed. But remember, the ripple effect isn't always visible right away. Sometimes the impact we have on others, the inspiration we provide, or the strength we offer doesn't show itself immediately. Yet it's always there, building quietly, expanding out of sight until one day it reaches someone who needed it most.
And that, my friends, is the power of a positive legacy.
As you go forward, think about the ripples you're setting into motion, each thought, each choice.
Each action adds to that momentum. Know that with each positive thought and each intentional act,
you're contributing to a ripple effect that has the power to uplift, inspire, and transform. And while we may never fully see the impact of our ripples, we can be certain that they are reaching farther than we'll ever know. So create those ripples, and remember, every day you have the power to make a difference, to bring a little more light into the world, and to be a force for good. Let that knowledge guide you, encourage you, and inspire you as you continue your journey. Let's keep creating those ripples, because together we can make waves that shape the future. As we come to the end of our journey today, I want to leave you with this thought: positivity is not just an attitude, it's a choice, a habit, and a legacy. Every small act of kindness, every moment of gratitude, and every uplifting thought you cultivate sets off ripples that touch lives in ways you may never see but can always trust. Imagine the world we could create if each of us committed to being a source of light and positivity. It starts with one thought, one smile, one action. And as those ripples spread, they create waves of inspiration and change that can transform families, communities, and even the world. So as you walk out of here today, remember this: you have the power to create ripples. The only question is, what kind of ripple will you choose to start? Thank you for being here, for your energy, and for your openness to this message. Let's go out there and make a difference, one ripple at a time.